Today we're going to dive into my face products collection and declutter. Now, I say declutter, but let's be real. I'm here just to convince myself not to declutter anything. Grab something to snack, something to drink, and let's see how it will go. Let's start with foundation and primers. My most used foundation is this Misha BB cream in the shade 13. It has the perfect cool gray undertone that is super flattering on my skin. I also like it because it doesn't have full matte finish. It's satin, semi-matte, and very natural. And also look how much I have used of it. Definitely keep it and hopefully finish by the end of this year. The next one is Fit Me from Maybelline in the shade 112. You might feel a little bit unfamiliar with packaging because it is not the original packaging of this foundation. Actual foundation comes into twist up bottle that doesn't have any pump or doll foot applicator. You literally have to pour it out. And this is what bothered me a lot and kind of made me avoid using the product, because the actual product is one of my favorite foundation. Look how nicely it blends into the skin. It's perfect for oily type. If you have problems using the product related to packaging, just repackage it. It makes a world of difference. Moving on to CoverGirl Clean Invisible Foundation. It is in the shade 101. This is a new reformulated version, and to tell you the truth, I've heard a lot of very good reviews. But as for me, it's hit or miss. Some days it looks flawless, the others not so flawless. I think it might depend on the powder that I pair it with. So far, it works best when I skip the powder altogether. I'm still experimenting with it though, so if you tried it, let me know. When I apply it with my hands, it looks very decent, and there are a lot of days where I love light coverage, and this is the foundation that gives me that. So for that purpose, I will still leave it in my collection. Now let's face the elephant in the room. This is Collagen Moisture Foundation in the shade 21. It is 100 ml. Can you imagine how long it will take to use it up? Unfortunately, it's a little bit dark for me, so I usually mix it with a lighter foundation to get the right shade. Usually that is Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation, the Photo Focus line. The combination works beautifully, but you have to be very careful with the amounts. Too much can make it look very heavy and very dewy. Regarding this foundation, truth be told, I bought it because it was discounted, heavily discounted. I think I got it for like $4 Canadian. Unfortunately, it is too light and too dewy. Therefore, it works perfectly as a mixer foundation. Whenever I have something darker or whenever I have something a little bit yellow, it helps to tone it down. So this is my best mixer foundation. That's why it will not leave my collection. Now let's talk about concealers. Surprisingly, I have only one. This is NARS in the shade Affogato, and as you can see, I have almost finished it because when I swirl it inside, you can see so much windowing. It's actually nearly empty, so if you have a good recommendation for preferably drugstore concealer, let me know in the comment section below. Why I've been managing so well without the concealer or with such a small amount of it? Because of Rimmel palette. This was my new rediscovery. This shade is perfect for brightening my under eyes, and this is what I actually and usually need for my concealers, to have my under eye area a little bit fresher and brighter, not as exhausted. This peachy color does this job perfectly well. Plus, sometimes I use green and purple to maybe do some spot correcting or add some brightness where needed. It is such an underrated drugstore palette. It's not going to leave my collection. Talking about correctors, even though you see two of these, that's actually the same product. Anytime that I have a foundation that leans slightly yellow, usually I balance it with my Hard Candy Green corrector. The original packaging has this weird puff wand that Charlotte Tilbury's magic wands are famous for, I have no idea how it should work as a corrector because it's not precise at all. That's why I transferred the liquid into this empty hourglass whale primer bottle, and now it's so much easier to use. Honestly, repackaging is a lifesaver. As for the primers, I am definitely a base girly. With slightly textured skin, a good primer is essential for me. Right now, my top pick is Laura Mercier Blurring Primer, and you see how much I have used it. Usually, I apply it around my nose and my cheeks, and it works beautifully to smooth everything out. I'm definitely on track to finish it this year. The next one is the Smashbox. I also know that it is one of the OG products in makeup world, but it's still a little bit of mystery to me. It looks sometimes very nice under some foundation, but it makes others peel off. I think I do need to experiment more with it to learn how to apply it properly. Though it's my oldest primer, so I should have known better by now how to use it, but I'm still figuring out. I think my biggest problem is the quantity of how much I apply. With this primer, little goes a long way. I have this Guerlain Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold primer. I think I got it in advent calendar, and whenever I'm in the mood to feel slightly fancy, I will put it on. You see some specks of gold there. Does it make a dramatic difference? Not really, but I like to think that it adds a little of something. The Uriage Mattifying Emulsion was something that I think I got as a gift with purchase. I thought it should work great as a primer because it reduces shine, tightens pores, and moisturizes. This is what the perfect primer should do. But while everything sounds great, I haven't noticed much of the difference under my makeup yet. But I will be testing it and see how it works. And the last one is NYX Plump Right Back Primer. It works well under the majority of foundation, but I think I wouldn't recommend it for oily skin. Because my friend who has a dry skin tried it and she loved it. And Estee Lauder foundation looked great on her with that foundation underneath. As for me, I don't see the difference. I don't see this plump or hydrated effect, but it's okay, it's workable. Moving on to bronzers, blushes, and powders. So one product that I literally almost decluttered was the Pupa Illuminating Powder. It was handed down to me, but I thought it looked a little bit too yellow. Then I discovered that combining this bronzer with this pinkish highlighter creates the perfect neutral bronzer tone. So now it is definitely staying in my collection, and I wore it like this for, I think, 2 weeks, and it looked gorgeous. I think this is a hidden gem and maybe my possible new favorite one. As for the bronzers, my absolute favorite one is this Revolution Reloaded bronzer. It is super sheer, which is perfect to layer over liquid bronzers. And I bet you don't see here any liquid bronzers. That's because usually I DIY them. For instance, here you could see a combination of a warm eyeshadow from my BH Cosmetics Romantic Nomad, a little bit of Say Illuminizer, and also Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Look how nice it is, how sheer it is. Actually, you can build it to be more intense, and this is what I like about DIYing, that you can customize the product the way you like it. This is a perfect combo for me. I also keep a classic NARS Laguna bronzer in my collection. It is, not that one. That is a powder. Okay, the classic NARS Laguna bronzer. Usually I reach for it in those days whenever I'm in a rush and I need a standalone product. At first, I didn't know how to make it work for my skin, but later I learned that if you apply it with a big fluffy brush, it gives you very nice, very satiny glow. This is something that I really like. This is what I learned this year, that I'm a fan of satiny, sheer face products. One product that I literally considered yesterday decluttering is this Say Illuminator. I'm not a big fan of it because it has started developing an odd smell. It's not that bad, but it definitely changed. If it weren't so pricey, I would probably declutter it already. With that being said, I used maybe less than a half, and it does have some redeeming qualities, like having this very subtle highlighter, and the sheer base makes it perfect for DIYing your own products. I've been using it to do that, though as for me it's a little bit expensive to have a base like this, so my goal is to finish it soon. Speaking about different mixers, I found a more affordable alternative with better value for the amount that you get. It also works beautifully as it is, a very nice peachy pink highlighter, but a great base for bronzers. This year I really discovered my love for liquid bronzers because they can blend into your skin so beautifully. So it will never leave my collection. I've even considered buying the lighter version, the one that is like pinkish iridescent one. And the setting spray. This is my only setting spray. I do use it whenever I powdered my face a little bit too much. Or I also mentioned to you that with my clean Invisible CoverGirl foundation, I have problems whenever I set it with powder. It starts behaving weirdly. So whenever I use spray on top of it, somehow it stops the reaction and it helps me to wear this foundation for a whole day. I think that this foundation doesn't like this powder, but it's experimenting. Since we finished bronzers on NARS, let's start our blushes on NARS as well. It is Canonic NARS Orgasm. I struggled with it at first. It was not working well for me. It highlighted all the texture that I had on my cheeks, but then I switched the brushes and this is what I get. I believe you see a shiny little pen there, and I actually loved using it. So definitely stay in my collection. Maybe one time I will even finish it. That would be such an achievement as for me. The other blush that is a very good budget-friendly alternative to that one is Essence Pretty Peach Blush. It's a perfect blush for quick makeup days, but the packaging is super flimsy. It starts even cracking. So I always have to be very careful whenever I am applying it, which is a bummer. I wish they had better packaging. Speaking about better packaging, my notorious Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade At Night. I used it very rarely this year, and I might have considered decluttering it, but this is such a unique shade in my collection and I do enjoy the formula. I just need to make sure that I use it more on a daily basis. Maybe I need to put it in Project Pen. That will definitely make me get more usage out of this blush. Gorgeous blush. The other blush that has been laying around my makeup drawer forgotten was the one from Bare Minerals in the shade Call My Blush. I thought it's okay blush. I remembered that it is okay blush. It is matte blush, so I didn't see anything special about it. But then when the winter started, I started using it more and oh my god, this is such a great blush for textured skin. It literally erases the pores on my cheeks. So this is going into my project pan next year for sure. Next up is Rare Beauty Blush. It is a mini that I think I got as Sephora gift with purchase. This is my very first product from Rare Beauty, so I was very excited to have it. I heard that her blushes are very tricky to blend because of their intensity, because of the pigment. But surprisingly, this one blends very beautifully. It is the shade Encourage, which is very nice mauve pink. It's actually quite wearable. Blends nicely. Maybe it's because of the color of the formula, but I do enjoy wearing it with a bolder lipstick. And the last blush that you might not recognize as a blush is my Franken blush that I made from Real Girl shade in my ABH Modern Renaissance. It serves me much better as a blush than the eyeshadow, and it's perfect. Usually I apply it with a sponge, and it gives me very warm, very even finish that I absolutely love. The last thing that is not powder is Iconic London Precision Duo Contour Pot. Initially, I thought I need a cool tone contours that they suit me, but turns out I prefer something that is more neutral. So if you have recommendation, let me know. I do almost finish this one, so there is no need to declutter it. Yeah, there is a nice shiny pen in the middle. Okay, I think I have forgotten something. Yeah, I have forgotten my Hourglass Dragon palette. Give me a second. Here it is. This is one of my most expensive purchases this year. Nevertheless, it is the one that definitely worth it. As you can see, it is perfect for someone who has a fair skin type. And this powder, if I tilt it, you would see that I have already started flattening it down. This is how much I used it. Definitely worth the splurge. So my other go-to powder is Maybelline Fit Me powder. It is a magic product that seems to me never runs out in the shade Tan Fair Light. Doesn't matter how much you use it, somehow it magically self-replenishes. It is perfect for setting my face with a nice big fluffy brush. If I finish it, I will definitely repurchase it. Other product that I used a lot this year is Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. Actually, that's the same powder. I have almost finished the mini one. And I got this one with points. I haven't opened it yet, and it's already 2 years old. And I've been using this one for setting my under eye area for months. This is how much I underestimate the amount of products I used within a year. And Hourglass. It is also on its last rest, so I'm considering also putting it in Project Pen and just finish it up. Perfect for periphery of your face. So is that all? It seems to me that I didn't put one more powder. Give me a second. Oh, here is my Alpha HD powder. A lovely person commented under one of my videos that it is great to be used with the Power Puff in order to smooth the under eye area, and it works like that. I was so surprised though. Thank you so much. Now I use this powder only like this. And you can see how much I've already used. Definitely not leave my collection. Looks like I have decluttered 0 products in this video, but hey, I got a chance to reconnect with my collection, and that is pretty nice. If you do look for some decluttering videos, the next one will be the video of mine where I go through my lip and eye products and I do get something decluttered. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!